everybody. It is January 22nd, 2024, and we are on episode 16, which is another Spend Monday. I am answering specific questions, so if you want to ask a question, ask down in the comments below. And today we are answering, how do I decide what to spend money on? This is a very valid question. I mean, there's plenty of things that we could be spending our money on. Lord knows that we have enough people asking for us to spend money every single day. So just first want to say that I am not a financial advisor. I am just here for education and entertainment purposes only. So let me get to my point number one, which is know your goals. What are your financial goals? Like, if you don't have any goals, then of course you're just going to spend it on anything. If your goal is to lose weight, then you're not going to be spending so much money on, say, going out to eat and having fast food and that kind of thing. So you got to ask yourself, what are your goals? And that's going to directly translate into what are you spending. If one of your goals is, let's say you're in your young 20s and you're wanting to date and you're wanting the scene and you're very serious about it, then yeah, you're going to be spending money on grooming yourself and your wardrobe and going out to places where other people are to meet other people. And that is okay. I'm not here to tell you what your goals are, like if they're good or if they're bad. I'm just here to say you need to know for yourself what your goals are. My point number two is that once you know what your goals are, then that's going to help you set your priorities. So let's say you have two opposing goals. One goal is to have fun, just completely enjoy life. You love it, you want to have fun, you don't want to be one of those people who gets bitter and hates their life. And on the other hand, you have a goal of getting out of $20,000 worth of debt. How can you balance the two? Now you got to have the priorities. Now you got to say, okay, the priority for my money is going to be toward paying off the debt, and the priority for my mindset is going to be having fun. So maybe I can't afford to go out to eat with my friends, but at the after party hanging out the house where I just have a bottle of water, I can have a huge amount of fun just hanging out and talking to people, and I didn't have to spend any money. You've got to know what your goals are, and then you got to know how to prioritize it. That's going to help you out. So my point number three is you need to focus on your health. A lot of people will spend a lot of money on things, and like I said, I'm not a professional. It is just my opinion that the number one important thing on your health is what you put in your mouth. The food you eat, I firmly believe, is extremely important. So I would suggest that having one of your priorities be having healthy foods, quality foods. We have lots of different meal delivery services nowadays that many people love to utilize. And I'm not talking about DoorDash to bring over your favorite fast food. I'm talking about quality, chef-approved, nutritional meals sent to your door, and all you do is heat them, or sometimes all you do is cook them in 15 minutes. So I'm going to suggest that's one area where many people spend money on, and that's going to be around food. My point number four is with clothes. Now, as much as you want to always have the nicest clothes and the newest fashion and that kind of stuff, if it's not part of your goals, if it's not part of your priorities, then you really need to rethink it. Another thing you need to think about, especially with clothes, is there is a huge aftermarket for clothes that are taken care of. So maybe you really do want to have your clothes, but at the same time, you can, instead of just throwing them away or just donating them away, maybe you can find a way to kind of resell them or even trade them with other people. Hey, you've got this beautiful item, I've got this awesome item, let's switch. That's something to consider. My point number five, and this is a huge important one for a lot of people, it's gambling, vaping, alcohol, comfort foods, anything that you do to just zone out. Anything you do where you need something to forget about the monotony of the day to day. That's important. We all need escapism. We all need to love our lives. And we're today talking about spending. Okay, so how do you decide what to spend money on? You need to decide for yourself what is your, I hate the word vice because it's not really a good word. It's just, what is your escapism? And some people it's video games. Other people it's, going out and doing dance lessons all the time. It's just a way to forget about the monotony of your day to day. And you need to decide what a level of that escapism is healthy for you and how much you want to spend on that. Okay, point number 6. After I start talking about all this, then it always comes up like, hey, I have kids. Kids are expensive. If you're in a modern society, kids are expensive. I mean, everything costs for the kids, and you could get in trouble with the law if you're not watching your child or paying for someone to watch your child 24/7 nowadays. And I have a lot of parents who are like, oh my goodness, like my parents and my grandparents, they didn't raise me this way. They didn't have so many expenses around kids, but now I have so many expenses. What do I do? They're my kids. Of course, I'm going to give them the best I can, but that gives me nothing left at the end of it. I just can only tell you prioritize, 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 and try to team up. I mean, if you know people whose kids are in the same age range, maybe you can work on shuffling them around and being able to watch them over sleepovers and that kind of thing, or maybe even sharing clothes. If you know people who have kids older than your child, that's great, because then you can talk about, hey, what do you do with your hand-me-downs? Hey, what do you do with, if you gently use your stuff, can I get it at a discount? Or can I trade a service for those items? If you know people who have children younger than you, you can do the same thing. Hey, you know what? You want to be able to, have these nice gently used clothes or gently used toys? That would be awesome. Could we exchange it to where you watch the kids every Thursday night so we can have a date night? Get creative with it. You're not alone. Many people have children. More people have children than don't. So it's okay to just kind of talk to other parents and try to join community groups and really just try to use the resources available to you before resorting to just paying retail for something. With that kind of is student debt. Now, sometimes the student debt is of your child's, and sometimes the student debt is of yours. And whether you believe student debt should be cleared off or not, I'm not here to be on a political debate. I'm just stating it's something that happens for many people in modern cultures. So you need to be considering that. If you haven't taken on student debt yet, I highly recommend that you consider realistically, what is your game plan? If you're just wandering around, maybe it's best for you to start working and maybe just take a little courses here and there, not a full-on college degree. Maybe that's the best thing for you. If you know exactly your path and you know it requires this sort of degree, it's going to take you this long, you'll make enough money to be out of student debt within this many years after graduating, and you're okay with that and you're committed to that, then yeah, absolutely go ahead and take on that student debt. If you've already got the student debt, my suggestion is definitely reach out to other people, and organizations have been popping up quite a bit recently about addressing the student debt issue, and maybe you can turn it into a zero interest loan where you're just making smaller payments. You have options, and I want you to consider and go over those options for yourself. My last point, and I know none of my clients want to hear this, but it's up to you what you decide. Like, I can have an opinion, everyone around you can have an opinion, this expert will say that expert will say this, everyone's going to have an opinion, but ultimately you decide how you choose. And I just guide you to say, what are your goals and what are your priorities? If you know your goals and you know your priorities, then you're going to know what to do. Marm Tattoo says the truth is you always know the right thing to do. The hard part is doing it. And it's true. You have to decide what is the right thing for you, and then you just need to do it. I think it's John Elliott, Maverick Mindset. He says the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that the unsuccessful people know what to do. It's just the successful people who are doing it. So I'm going to leave you with those thoughts. If you haven't picked up my book, Your Money Sign, you can get it in the link down below. We are committed to 5 videos a week for 2024. We are trying to go from 0 subscribers up to 1,000 subscribers in the first year. So if you got some value from that, you can like, share, or subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.